Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Let me
So it's we started the webinar.
and make an introduction, basically. So just want to make a quick introduction again. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming together for the webinar. Henry is someone that we've been working with for the longest time, actually, in Indonesia, since we first started marketing the Portuguese Golden Visa. And in fact, I think it's been a long time, I think, since Henry has also seen Antonio. And because it's been a long time since we've been to Indonesia. So
Yeah.
welcome back to the scene. And Henry also want to introduce to you, of course, our developer, Rosalia, who's here. Rosalia is actually one of our developers that we've been working with also quite closely for quite a few years already. They are actually specialists in the rehabilitation category of our properties. And of course, then Audrey is representing our migration agency that we work with quite closely together in Malaysia. They've been running mostly Australia, but also I would say we've been our partners for the first time, and we've all worked together to promote the Golden Visa. Actually, all of us started promoting the Golden Visa at the same time in 2019 and 2018. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for being good with us. And I'm glad that we're all here today. As we are waiting, hello everybody, selamat petang. Thank you for joining us. We have quite a few people from Indonesia and also from Malaysia today. Selamat petang. My name is Jamie, and I'm actually the host and also a Portuguese Golden Visa holder myself. Welcome today. And we will be starting very soon. I want to just do a quick introduction again today. My name is Jamie. I'm actually the Managing Director for Intergentium Asia. We are the investment consultants who work very closely with our exclusive legal partners, AFCO Legal. We actually have here today Antonio Binyal, our senior partner and also my lawyer for the Portuguese Golden Visa. We also have Henry here, who is our marketing partner for Indonesia. And then we have Audrey here as well, who is our marketing partner for Malaysia, our migration agency. And also we have here from Irish Capital, Rosalia, and Rosalia Torres represents Irish Capital, which is one of the very nice projects that we'll be showcasing today. And of course, Catherine, who is part of our team. Maybe before we start in a minute, Henry, you want to say something since we have a large attendance from Indonesia today, just to say, just to welcome them.
Okay. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Antonio, Rosalia, Catherine, Audrey for your time. Such an honor. Am I lagging? Hello.
No, it's very clear.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your time. Doing a webinar for tonight. Terima kasih juga buat Bapak Ibu yang hadir pada webinar hari ini gitu ya. Kita sangat excited untuk memperkenalkan program Golden Visa dari Portugal. Sebenarnya saya dan Jamie sudah kenal cukup lama gitu ya. Mungkin sudah lebih dari 3 tahun sebelum pandemi gitu ya. Jamie membantu klien saya mendapatkan Golden Investment di Lisbon waktu itu, dan kemudian Golden Visa bagi keluarganya juga. Jadi Jamie sangat profesional, dia sangat mahir, sangat cakap gitu ya dalam bidangnya gitu ya. Jadi Bapak Ibu yang mungkin punya pertanyaan nanti atau punya concern apa sih sebenarnya keuntungan dari Golden Visa Portugal dan lain-lain, nanti Anda bisa nanya langsung gitu ya. Ini sebenarnya webinar, tapi nanti kalau Anda membutuhkan informasi tambahan atau Anda ingin berkonsultasi secara private, kami dapat mengakomodasi hal tersebut gitu ya. Kami dapat menjadwalkan juga sesi private, sesi khusus bersama dengan mungkin Jamie, Antonio, Rosalia di sini gitu ya, dan teman-teman. Jadi Anda bisa berdiskusi secara langsung. Tapi hari ini akan bersifat secara umum. Webinarnya akan lebih mengulas tentang apa itu Portugal Golden Visa, kelebihannya apa, prosesnya gimana, jenis investasi apa yang dapat diterima dan lain-lain gitu ya. Jadi saya rasa itu aja tambahan dari saya. Oke, Jamie, go back to
Okay,
you.
thank you so much. Terima kasih, Henry. So moving on, I'm going to move to the next slide just to do a quick introduction. So I myself actually am a Portuguese Golden Visa holder. And I have been, I'm actually in my 5th year of my Golden Visa. If we can go to the next slide, I would like to do a quick introduction on the people that are here today. This is, so I've actually decided to do the Portuguese Golden Visa because this is my husband and I. And we've been wanting to look for an alternative residency, but yet will give us a very good investment. So that's why we decided to do the Portuguese Golden Visa. And also because the Portuguese Golden Visa will allow us to also access the healthcare and allow our children also to live, work, and study in Europe, which we felt was very important. And I think during this pandemic with COVID, I'm so happy that we are all here, all alive and kicking and living a normal life. But I also think that a lot of us are thinking, you know, about the future, you know, and you know what basically an alternative residency will be important for us. Moving on to the next slides, I would also like to introduce to you the other people in the team. We also have AFCO Legal, Antonio Vignal, who is here today, which is our senior partner lawyer, our exclusive legal partners, because Antonio is also my lawyer who handled my Golden Visa. And we have 100% success, and we are all very happy, including Henry's clients who have already gotten their Golden Visa in Portugal. They are very happy actually with the work and how they've been taking care of their clients. So we have Antonio later on who will be sharing with us on the rules and the regulations on how to obtain a Portuguese Golden Visa. Moving on to the next slide as well, we also have our developer Rosalia for Irish Capital. We've been working with Irish Capital also for many years. So everyone here today, we've been working together for many, many years. And we are very happy to say that we have many clients who are very happy with their products. In fact, I just came back from Porto to just do the final due diligence and checking on the property completion. And we are very happy to have Rosalia here today to share with us a new project under the 280,000 category in Portugal. Moving on to the next slide as well, we have, of course, Henry Nugroho, who is our marketing partner for Indonesia, also for many years. And he has been one of the most successful and reputable real estate company in Indonesia. And we are more than happy to work together as a team to give a full experience to our customers in Indonesia. And then, of course, I also have Audrey here, who is our migration agent from Global Migration Solution, who is also our partner for many, many years. All of us have started doing the Portuguese Golden Visa together. In fact, Audrey will share now the next slide a little bit more also because a lot of Indonesians also ask us, you know, why choose the Golden Visa over Australia, for example, and I wanted her to share a few words on her experience. Audrey, thank you.
Sure. Thank you, Jamie, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's really a pleasure to be here today. So before I start off, if I may, I would just like to share a bit about the background of our company. So our company, Global Migration Solutions, we are established for 18 years now, and we have presence in 5 countries, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, Vietnam, and Hong Kong. Happy to share with you that due to our strict review and in-depth experience in migration, we have a 99% success rate, and we have helped more than 12,000 families with their migration plans. We are in fact licensed immigration advisors with the Australia and New Zealand government. And over the years, we have actually expanded our services to offer Europe and US as well. So with this track record, we are well recognized in the industry, and we have achieved multiple awards, with the latest being the Top 25 Global Migration Agency CEO Award, which is an international immigration industry award. So that's just a bit about our company. And now I'm excited to share with you on all the key highlights on why the Portugal Golden Visa is really a great program. So first of all, the reason why we started offering the European residency program is because we find that the Portugal GV is actually a very flexible program. It is also highly regulated and a reliable program by the Portuguese government, which started in 2012. And the investment sum required is very reasonable, that just starts from 280,000 euros. So comparatively with other investment programs globally, this is relatively a very affordable amount. And it's also very flexible, as it does not require you to uproot or move to Portugal, as you would need to just fulfill about 7 days a year or 14 days every 2 years over a 2 year period. So if you compare this to Australia migration, many of our clients sometimes find it difficult to spend more than half of their time in Australia, because Australia has a stringent residency requirement. Whereas with the Portugal GV, there's so much of flexibility with just 35 days of residency in the 5 years. And it's very suitable for a situation where you're not ready to make a move and wish to have this as a backup for your family or just for your children in the next 5 years. It is also a very family-friendly program that allows you to add your spouse and kids, and also your parents and parents-in-law. So what's interesting about this is there's no cutoff age to actually add your dependent child. Like Australia has it at 23 years, and here there's no cutoff age, but as long as your child remains your dependent and studies and is financially dependent on you, they qualify to be as part of the program as well. And parents would need to be above the age of 66. Once you're a Golden Visa holder, you become just like a local resident, and you'll be able to enjoy free healthcare and education benefit for your children. So Portugal's healthcare system is ranked 12, it's actually ranked number 12 globally. And there are also many reputable universities in Portugal for education purposes for your children. So a lot of our clients actually do this because after 5 years, they want their own kids to be able to choose which country in EU they want their children to actually study. Because most importantly, the benefit that comes with the Golden Visa is the option towards the citizenship. It is one of the easiest programs towards EU citizenship, as other EU countries that provides similar pathways would usually have a higher investment amount or longer residency days. Here in the GV, just by completing 14 days every 2 years and a simple Portuguese test, you can get your Portuguese citizenship. So that is in fact one of the most attractive part of the program, as once you become a Portuguese citizen, you become part of EU, and hence with that passport, you will be allowed to pick and choose in which of the other 26 countries in the EU that you wish to live. Okay, and you would not need to be confined to Portugal alone. So a lot of my clients like to always tell us like, hey, when I do Australia, I do one investment and I get one country. Here I do one investment and I can get 26 countries. So that it's really worthwhile the money. So generally, I personally find this very attractive and a good option for all my clients as well. Australia is great, however, requires one to commit staying 2 years in a 5-year period. And at the same time, the Portugal GV is also very flexible, that does not have any health checks. And it's a very nice, supportive program that welcomes individuals from all walks of life with a low investment starting from 280,000 euros only. So I hope this was insightful for you. I'll pass on to Jamie for the next speaker.
Thank you, Audrey. Henry, if you don't mind, maybe you could summarize the benefit of the Portuguese Golden Visa in Bahasa Indonesia.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alright. Okay. Jadi akan saya rangkum ya, Bapak Ibu Saudara sekalian, tentang Portugal Golden Visa ini. Jadi gini, ada beberapa negara di Eropa yang menawarkan Golden Visa ya. Jadi ada seperti Portugal, ada Yunani dan Spanyol gitu ya. Setiap negara tentunya punya requirement yang berbeda-beda, termasuk jumlahnya. gitu ya. Mungkin teman-teman sudah tahu, misalnya kayak Spanyol itu mungkin dari minimum 500.000, Greece atau Yunani dari 250.000 yang rencananya akan naik, dan kemudian ada Portugal dengan minimum investment 280.000. Jadi sebenarnya Portugal ini salah satu negara yang memberikan Golden Visa kepada investor dari luar negeri, non-EU countries. Mereka berinvestasi dengan jumlah yang menurut saya cukup reasonable, karena 4,5 eman ya kalau nggak salah kalau di dalam rupiah gitu ya. Dan kemudian Portugal Golden Visa ini juga punya keuntungan yang menurut saya sangat memudahkan investor. Karena gini, untuk maintain itu hanya perlu 7 hari dalam setahun atau 14 hari dalam 2 tahun. Kalau Bapak Ibu tahu, negara-negara lain yang menawarkan residency by investment lah kita ngomong ya, atau melalui bisnis gitu ya, misalnya seperti Australia, Amerika, Kanada, mereka biasanya punya residency requirement yang lebih panjang gitu ya. Kadang ada yang bilang 3 tahun atau 5 years, atau 5 atau 2 atau 4 gitu ya. Bagi investor-investor Indonesia mungkin ini hal yang agak memberatkan karena biasanya kita semua masih bekerja, usia produktif gitu ya. Jadi kita kadang nggak bisa meninggalkan usaha kita di Indonesia. Nah, kalau kita misalnya di Australia, kita harus stay berapa bulan dalam setahun untuk memenuhi stay requirement-nya, tentunya agak susah ya buat kita ya. Nah, maka dari itu Golden Visa di Eropa ini, di beberapa negara Eropa ini sangat menarik buat para investor karena residency requirement-nya sangat sedikit, yaitu cuma 7 hari dalam setahun, atau kalau misalnya tahun itu nggak bisa pergi 14 hari dalam 2 tahun gitu ya. Itu yang pertama. Terus kemudian Anda juga dapat membawa mengikut sertakan spouse, suami atau istri, main applicants, kemudian juga anak-anak ya. Terus kemudian juga parents dan in-law gitu ya. Jadi orang tua dan mertua gitu ya, jadi orang tua dan mertua gitu ya. Jadi ini berlaku untuk 3 generasi gitu. Kemudian local resident mendapatkan benefit free healthcare dan education. Nanti mungkin bisa diterangkan juga healthcare-nya itu apa aja, terus kemudian education-nya di mana aja gitu ya. Nanti mungkin bisa nanya langsung ke Jamie gitu ya. Nah, kelebihan dari Portugal Golden Visa dibandingkan dengan Golden Visa yang lain yang diisu negara Eropa lain adalah Portugal Golden Visa ini adalah salah satu dari program termudah ya untuk mendapatkan EU passport. Jadi sebenarnya Golden Visa ini orang banyak salah kaprah. Kadang orang banyak bilang Golden Visa ini apakah sama dengan PR? Belum sebenarnya. Golden Visa ini adalah residency permit. Itu satu step di bawah PR. Di atas Golden Visa ada namanya permanent residency, dan di atas permanent residency yang ultimate-nya adalah citizenship, atau Anda adalah warga negara gitu ya. Nah, kalau Anda memang berencana saya berencana untuk punya PR di Portugal atau di Eropa, maka Golden Visa Portugal ini salah satu yang paling mudah. Karena Anda cuma perlu memenuhi 7 hari stay dalam setahun. Selama 5 tahun, maka Anda bisa pilih 2 sebenarnya, antara EU passport atau permanent residency, right, Jimmy? You can choose, right? Either you obtain passport or permanent residency, right?
Betul.
Jadi memang Indonesia by law secara legal memang tidak mengizinkan dual citizenship. Tapi Indonesia mengizinkan orang untuk punya beberapa permanent residency. Jadi itu nggak masalah gitu ya. Mungkin kebanyakan dari Anda akan mengarahnya bukan ke pasportnya, mungkin mengarahnya ke permanent residensinya gitu ya. Jadi kalau sudah permanent residency, Anda sudah one step di atas Golden Visa gitu ya. Nah, memang kalau Anda mengarah ke pindah kewarganegaraan, EU passport adalah jawabannya gitu ya. Dan kalau Anda punya EU passport, maka itu adalah salah satu sarana satu-satunya yang mengizinkan Anda benar-benar untuk tinggal, bekerja, dan belajar di 27 negara EU ya, dengan Portugal citizenship ini. Kira-kira itu summary-nya. Oke. Jamie, back to you.
Thank you. Terima kasih, Henry. So now moving forward, I think we're going to go to the next slide, and we should move to because the video have some technical issues. And I will now call upon Antonio Vignal whom I have to say has been a very important part of a role to play in my life with my whole Golden Visa journey. I wouldn't have been able to go through the entire 5 years if it's not because of the fact that he's been there to make sure that everything went on very smoothly, not only in terms of the investment, but also my whole entire process. So over to you, Antonio.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Thank you for your kind introduction. Good evening, everyone. My name is Antonio Viñala, and I will be walking you through the more relevant rules and aspects of the Portuguese Golden Visa program, which effectively, yes, it is a residency by investment program. And now we will move on to the few other requirements. Now, one of the great advantages, one of the great benefits is that it allows the investor to take on board other family members, and this will include the spouse or partner, children below 18, but also children 18 and above, as long as they are financially dependent. So if they're still studying and single, that will confirm and make that person eligible for the application. And also the spouses and sponsors' parents, if they are financially dependent and if they are 65 and above, then automatically they're considered as dependent. And for younger siblings also, if they are under the sponsor's custody. So the visa itself, it is actually commercially known as Golden Visa, but what you get is a temporary residency card, and it is good for 2 years initially, and then you renew it once for 2 years, and then your second renewal is also for 2 years. So 2 + 2 + 2 overall, and you would need to stay for at least 14 days during every 2-year period, and you can spend these 14 days in one go or break it up during the 2 years. Once you have fulfilled 5 years of legal residency, then you can apply for citizenship, and in Portugal's case, full dual citizenship is available. So there are no restrictions on that end. In terms of benefits, these are very clear. Of course, you can take advantage of full freedom of movement within the Schengen area. So live, work, study in any EU country. You and your children will benefit from lower EU membership or university fees. There is, of course, no minimum stay requirement in order to keep citizenship. And once you become an EU member, then, of course, family reunification becomes easier. As a Portuguese citizen, will I be considered a tax resident in Portugal? No, only if you fulfill the criteria to become a tax resident. And that is if you spend more than 183 days a year in Portugal. If not, you will not be a tax resident in Portugal. One requirement, apart from keeping clean criminal records, is that you must show that you have attained at least an A2 level in Portuguese. An A2 level is very basic language skills. So there is absolutely nothing to worry about in that sense. In terms of application conditions or your different routes to enter the program, as you can see, there's quite a few, but I would like to direct your attention to letters E and F. So letter E is the purchase of any kind of property in Portugal, as long as it's 500,000, or you can lower the threshold from 500,000 to 350,000, as long as you put some money for the property and some money for refurbishment. So the total amount, purchase plus refurbishment, should reach 350,000 euro. Now, not every property may qualify, but only those who are more than 30 years old or located in an urban renewal area as defined by the relevant council. In these two maps, I would like to direct, first of all, your attention to the one on the right, so the green map, green and white map. In the green areas, that is where you can still purchase residential property. As of January 1st, 2022, commercial property is the only kind of property you can buy in the white areas. So if you want to buy residential property, it has to be in the green areas, as those are the only areas that qualify for GV purposes. The map on the left, if we could go back just for a second. Yeah, the map on the left, the pink map, pink and white map, shows those areas in Portugal where the threshold becomes 20% lower. So the 500,000 becomes 400,000 and the 350,000 becomes 280,000 euro. Okay, so those are what these two maps mean. Possible property investments, it's up for grabs. Any sort of real estate is available. Holiday homes, residential apartments, even vineyards and olive groves, properties for refurbishment, commercial property, hotels. Of course, we only need to pay attention to those that qualify depending on the area they are located in. Procedures are straightforward. It all begins when you obtain a tax number. This is relevant because it will help you to open a bank account, number one, and it will also be mandatory for the purpose of purchasing the property. So tax number, bank account, then a real estate, the real estate investment kicks in, and you would sign a promissory sale and purchase agreement. And this is necessary just so that both parties can get all the requirements in place, be it funding or any documents that might still be outstanding. And then you would sign the deed. The deed is the title of sale, title of ownership. That is when ownership is transferred from the seller to the buyer. The document is drawn up by a public notary, an independent third party, and then it is lodged with both the land registry and the tax office, and you will get a certificate showing that you are the owner of that property. In terms of hotspots, of course, well, Lisbon, Cascais Estoril, and Porto are still sought after. Nevertheless, as mentioned just a few slides ago, these are only eligible, these areas are only eligible now for commercial property. Okay, so certain parts in the Algarve and also Alcácer, Comporta, Évora, these are quite sought after areas because especially Alcácer, the Comporta area are still quite near to Lisbon, and especially so for those areas that are close to the beachfront, and Évora because it's a World Heritage City. Whenever you buy a property, there's usually tax involved, and in Portugal, that is no exception. If we're looking at residential property, the rates are on a sliding scale depending on the purchase price. If it is commercial property we're looking at, then it would always be fixed at a 6.5% rate. And additionally, you will also have stamp duty that is always fixed at 0.8% of the purchase price. You might be glad to know that in Portugal, there is no wealth tax and there is no gift and inheritance tax either. As far as personal income tax, and for those who will retain their tax residencies in their home country, so therefore non-tax residents for Portuguese purposes, if you invest in a property and you wish to get some returns on the investment, which of course it is perfectly possible, long-term lease is 28%, short-term lease 12.5% rate, and capital gains 28%. Although, of course, for capital gains, there are a number of deductions and allowances that you can use to lower those capital gains.
Thank you, Antonio. So
Thank you.
moving on, I also wanted to, unfortunately, we will be sending you all the videos instead, since there's a small technical error today and there's no sound from the video. But very quickly, following up from what Antonio mentioned, Alcácer and also Grandola and Comporta and Evra are now the latest hotspots in terms of investments. And we are actually very excited because I just came back actually from Comporta, and in this Alentejo region, which is only an hour away from Lisbon, you will actually get a very good mix of the beach and also the vineyards and also the beautiful nature and the beautiful surroundings that Comporta has to offer. We are very excited because this particular project by Irish Capital is located in this place, and it's now hailed as one of the more hip places for people to buy for the Portuguese Golden Visa. Moving on to the next slide as well, I wanted to share with you so how you can actually get to this particular location that we'll be showcasing to you is actually by car, and it actually Greater Lisbon actually extends. You can see the heart shape extends all the way to Setúbal municipality, and then when the Setúbal municipality starts, basically there's also the start of also some of the notable hotspots like Comporta, as I mentioned to you, where they have basically a beautiful long beach, one of the longest in Europe. And then we also have Troia, which is where the casino is as well, which is also very close by. And then this is and the River Sado itself, which is also a very interesting attraction. And this is actually the whole start of Alentejo, which is actually one of the most famous wine regions. In fact, you can see the picture behind me is also like one of those exotic places that I stayed in the Alentejo region. Moving on to the next slide as well, I want to show you as well that recently there's also a lot of demand for investments, because I think a lot of properties actually in Lisbon and Porto have also increased to a very high level. So by investing into places like Comporta Grandola itself, will definitely be very interesting. As you can see, the prices has been increasing and it will continue to increase, and definitely any one of our investors will actually get a good capital gains and capital appreciation from the investments in this area. The next slide will also show you that also the Portuguese government is also putting a lot of grants. They are setting up some really international data centers in Sines, which is actually very close by in the Setúbal municipality as well. And as you can see, a lot of the developers are also eyeing Comporta as the next Ibiza, Ibiza in Spain, which is actually very popular and very trendy for people to invest in. Moving on to the next slide as well. So I actually just came back to visit the site. Is what we do all the time. We actually check on all the new projects before we launch them. And Comporta is really beautiful because you have a lot of beautiful people in the beautiful beaches like Madonna. You even have Christian Louboutin, who started to set up a small hotel basically, and also some of the other famous celebrities who have all decided to actually spend a lot of time in this secret of Alentejo, which is called Comporta. And moving on to next slide as well, you can see that in the areas of Grandola itself, where this project is also located, there is also a big capital appreciation amongst all the other interior region. This is the region that has actually gotten much higher in terms of capital appreciation, and this was actually a chart from actually a few years ago. It's gone up even more right now. So this is actually Catherine and myself. We also went to this place called Sublime, which is one of the most trendy and attractive and exclusive resort in Comporta, which will cost you like €1,000 per night, and it's definitely only a few minutes drive from the property itself. That's why we're very excited about this new location. And moving on, I'm going to now pass over to Rosalia, because I think at the end of the day, it will be interesting to hear from the developer herself why they've chosen to invest and to build such a nice project in Comporta. Yeah, thank you, Rosalia. Over to you.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, everyone, for being with us today, and Jamie and everyone else for the coordination. So first, in introducing us and our company, Jamie did say about us and that we've been working for quite a few years. But for those that haven't seen, you haven't met us before, very important to say that we are not only a development company, but we are also an investment company in our core. We have been in the industry for about 12 years, and we have our head office in London, where the company was born. We had actually the initial 6 years of the activity, big focus in the UK, and mainly in commercial assets. And it was for the last 4 years that we expanded into different countries. One of them was Portugal, where we now have become quite relevant in the arena of the Golden Visa, because as Jamie mentioned, we specialize in the refurbishment of projects. The one that we are going to introduce to you today is our 10th project. If we go to next slide, we will see some of them that will have been already completed or that are now sold out. And we will be focusing on the last one, Sunhouse Comporta, which is the one that we actually launched only a few weeks ago. So if we move on now to the next slide, we'll be introducing Sunhouse Comporta. And the first thing to say, when we move to now to the next slide, please, is regarding the location. If we remember, Antonio has introduced the map of all those locations that continue to be Golden Visa eligible. So for those clients that aim to have an investment in Portugal with the objective of securing the Golden Visa for their family, are going to have to choose in between all those locations that were in green. Now, from an investment point of view, and this is, again, because of our nature, it is very important to highlight that not every location will be the same in terms of investment. As Jamie mentioned, it's very important to aim for those capital appreciation, the liquidity, the preservation of the investment of the capital that we invest. And naturally and historically, the interior part of Portugal is more rural, and for those families that are local, lower to medium income. And if we look into all those locations that are nearer to the beach, we will find, however, the families that are local affluent families or that are international families, which is exactly what we need for to guarantee that liquidity and that market with a high demand. And this is exactly why we choose the region of Grândola, and why Jamie has been mentioning actually the benefits of investing in this region. So Grândola is only 1 hour from Lisbon, 1 hour from the international airport, and our project is only 20 minutes from the beach, and actually 1.5 or 1 hour and a half from the south of Portugal, from the very famous also region of the Algarve. If we move to the next slide, we zoom a little bit into the micro location, where we see these beautiful mix on the nature and the beach. This is actually one of the biggest attractions that the both tourists, but also the home investors are looking into this region. We have a beautiful combination of both things. One, the beach, largest beach in Portugal, and also the nature is one of the protected parks in Portugal. And within our here we see in the screen 7-8 different beaches that are within 30 minutes drive from our project. Nearest is 20 minutes, but all of these is accessible within only 30 minutes. And with all of these, we have also many other entertainment and lifestyle options, such as golf courses with international tournaments, quite high end. These are the three of them as an example. And we have also, as we continue in the next slides, we have also many restaurants and hotels, etc., to the point that now Grandula and its beachside Comporta has become a very important international brand. As Jamie mentioned, it is all over the news as a comparable to the next Ibiza, to the next luxury destination. And that's why it's, in terms of investment, it's considered to be the option for those affordable luxury holiday home buyers that are seeking to have an appreciation as the demand continues to increase. These are some of the sample of the restaurants and the hotels, all of their high-end, very elite. And this is something different to other regions. When we go to the Algarve, for example, it will be always a mix on different styles. In Comporta is very much condensed on all these high-end restaurants and hotels. And what is very distinctive of also the area, very signature, is that they are all very much eco-friendly, as Sublime Comporta that now Jamie was talking about. And this is because of the locality where they are, it's around the nature. And if we go to next slide, when we are going to introduce our project, is very much the same style that we have. We have a condominium, gated condominium with beautiful luxury facilities, total of 92 units. It is a mix in between studios, 1 bedroom and 2 bedrooms, so different typologies. We have booked 30 of them, so it's been quite successful since launch. A mix also on different nationalities, from local families to also international buyers, some of them with also the Golden Visa goal. And it is because of this, and because of the location, it is eligible for Golden Visa and a residential scheme, but also very important because this is a refurbishment project, and within the regulation that Antonio has taken you through, this will not only be Golden Visa eligible, but also at the lowest actually price point of 280,000 euros. In terms of the price of the units, we have from 280,000 euros to 385,000, depending on the size, on the unit type. And of course, this is something that we can then discuss with any of you that is interested. But is that as some general information to understand that it is a condominium that is gated with facilities, as you see, a pool that is almost 300 square meters, an on-site gym. And it's because it's a refurbishment project, it has a timeline for the refurbishment with a completion expected on the last quarter of 2025. And also a management scheme to be for those that would like to have a convenient management. We do offer to have a fixed rent for the first year at a 3%, followed by a management, by a full management of one of our local partners that are quite a specialist on this arena. And they will be looking after everything from the rental to the cleaning, the maintenance, the check-in, the checkout, everything for the clients. Some of the aerial photos. Here we see that the condominium has a total of 3 buildings, all of them sharing the common spaces, but very actually also signature of the building is the outdoor spaces. All of the units, we only have 2 floors, the ground floor and the first floor, and all of them have a very large outdoors private space. The ground floors are with a private garden or a pool deck, depending on the unit. We see in building A, all of those that are facing the pool has a private deck with private access to the condominium pool. And the second floor has private rooftop terraces. The ones with 1 bedroom or 2 bedrooms have a private pool plunge. Here we see some of the other images. These units that are having the private deck on the pool are actually very popular. We had in our previous project in the Algarve 120 units. They had a similar setup around the pool, and these were very, very fast to sell because are especially photogenic. These days, everything happens online, from the rental to the sale, booking.com or Airbnb, etc. And these are always the highest to rent in terms of price and in terms of the speed of renting. Some more images, the gym, the pool, and these are some of the interiors. These are the one-bedroom units. One-bedroom units with both the options, the terrace, the garden and the rooftop terrace. And these are some of the images for the two-bedroom units. And this is Jamie. Back to you, Jamie.
So yeah, thank you, Rosalia. It's a really beautiful project and I'm really excited. I was actually there, and for some of you, do keep in touch with us, and we will definitely email you basically some of the videos of my site visit and so on this Sun House Comporta Country project. It's really beautiful. I think it's been a while since you've actually seen projects that comes with plunge pools and so on. So I'm actually quite excited because I feel the whole, and I'm really in love with the Alentejo region. It's always very beautiful area in Portugal, which I feel that it's very understated. And it's really, as Rosalia mentioned, it's close to the beach, and you really get to enjoy the vineyards. You actually get to see a lot of the different townships, and a lot of exquisite buildings and a lot of history behind it. And Alentejo really has a lot to offer, and I really would like to invite you all for a personal consultation, so I can show you more from our viewings and from our recent trip. This is just a little bit about some of the previous projects that we've done. We represent a lot of projects basically over the years, and we have done more than 100 golden visas. And we have 100% success rate so far for all the clients through the team itself. And moving on to the, this is actually the teams and all the different developers that we work with. Just to show you our breadth of expertise is what we do. Also, we do a lot of due diligence to make sure that all the developers that we work with also deliver. And that's why we also have a team that is based in Portugal itself to ensure that our clients' interests are always protected and so on. So that's a promise that we actually do at Intergentium Asia, is that we will always give you the peace of mind and help you throughout the entire journey, not only for the entire golden visa, but also the maintenance of your property, on taking care of your property and the management of the property, and also being there and having an on-site team the moment you arrive in Portugal. And moving on to the next slide as well. I also wanted to just share with you, if you have more information and questions that you would like to ask, we actually have our Indonesia representation, which will be Henry. Please direct, you may contact him basically for more information, and for Malaysian side as well, you can contact Audrey if you have any questions. And then pertaining to the investments and so on, this is where Catherine and myself will actually come in. Yes, but we want to just thank you all for your time, and I'm just going to run through a few question and answer session. I think some of the participants have posted some questions. There is a Q&A section at the bottom as well, just in case you want to ask some other questions. You can actually click on the Q&A sessions. But I also want to mention to you also in terms of the there's a question pertaining on what is the difference. I think this is for you, Antonio. I think sometimes a lot of the clients are confused between what is a rehabilitation project and what is why is it 280,000 and not 400,000? Maybe you can give us a little bit more clarity, because I find that this is something that people always get confused, and we try to tell them it's not about the price of the property, but rather the threshold, which I hope that you can actually help clarify. Thank you.
Sure. So the different investment thresholds that we've reviewed in one of the slides mark the amount of money you need to put in to whichever investment so that you're eligible. Now, if you are looking at a project that will be undergoing some renovation, if you put money in the property and also put money in the renovation, and if the sum of both investments reaches 350,000 euro and the property qualifies, meaning 30 years old or located in an urban renewal area, then yes, absolutely, you can access or enter the Golden Visa program through that route. If the property is located in one of the pink areas in the map, which I showed earlier, and this project that has been showcased today is located in one of those pink areas, then you get a 20% discount. So instead of 350, it becomes 280. So that's the bare minimum you need to put. For instance, let's say 200,000 property and 80,000 for the refurbishment cost. So then you reach 280,000 and you're good to go. The other route for real estate is the 500,000 option. That is, there is no refurbishment in this case, none whatsoever. You buy any kind of property, it could be a plot of land, it could be a finished product. That the minimum is then 500,000, except for the pink areas where, once again, you get the 20% discount and it becomes 400,000.
Okay, thank you very much. So that's why for this particular project, it is under the 280,000 category, because it will go through a full refurbishment. And when we talk about refurbishment in this particular case, especially for this particular property, we're talking about only small pieces that they do refurbishment. But I would say 97% of the project is actually a new project. So you will have new electrical, plumbing, everything. It's actually new. So because this is always a question that a lot of people ask, so I thought this is actually quite important. So when we talk about rehabilitation or renovation projects or something that you understand, you're actually getting something that is completely new. It's just that they have to rehabilitate certain portions so that it qualifies under the rehabilitation category. The good thing as well, I also wanted to mention is that some people also ask whether is there a guarantee for the Golden Visa. So one of the things that I have to say, this is actually boils down to two sections. One, in terms of guarantee of the Golden Visa, depends on in terms of whether you can also get the certificate of good conduct. As long as you've done the investment and you've done the certificate of good conduct, then normally from the legal perspective, you should be able to pass whatever is necessary from the client's point of view in order to get the Golden Visa. And from the investment perspective, what is really good to note as well is that Irish Capital for all the projects also give a Golden Visa guarantee. And I think this is quite important because a lot of people always say, hey, I may make the investment, but I may not. How do I know that I'm going to get the Golden Visa after this investment is made? So this is where actually we have an understanding in the agreements. It's noted very clearly that Irish Capital will give a guarantee for the projects from the investment perspective. Yeah. So then the other question that we actually had was also about GB applicants as a Golden Visa holder. What are the healthcare benefits? Antonio, maybe you could explain this a little bit more. How is it different from a PR or citizen?
Well, once you get your Golden Visa, then of course you are eligible for the same benefits as any other legal resident in Portugal, both in terms of education, both in terms of access to public health care and so forth. Okay. Now, there's not much difference between a temporary resident and permanent resident. It's just once you become permanent, that's it, that's your status. And then you need to renew your card every 5 years, just like you would renew your passport. Of course, the big difference is once you become a citizen, because that is when these benefits have a larger reach, so not just restricted to Portugal, but you can, as I mentioned in one of the earlier slides, you can move about within the European Union much more freely without the need to get a new residency title or a new visa each time you decide to change from one country to the next. Okay. So all of these benefits regarding healthcare, education, etc., but once again, open up and are not restricted to Portugal.
Thank you, Antonio. There's also the next question that came about because, as you know, recently the Prime Minister has made an announcement that they may make some changes to the Golden Visa program. So the question is, will the Golden Visa program be abolished soon? And would they have enough time to still apply for the Golden Visa?
Mm-hmm. Well, following those remarks, which came out of the blue and unannounced, unexpected, there has been one opportunity already during the discussion of the Portuguese budget, the national state budget for 2023. And there was a proposal submitted by the Communist Party exactly to scrap the Golden Visa program. Now, I'm happy to say that that proposal was rejected. So for the time being, any potential movement with regard to the cancellation of the program, it will not happen, at least anytime soon. Whether that will happen in the future, well, that remains to be seen. And even if that would come to pass somewhere down the line, then of course this does not happen overnight. There is a proper procedure during which these laws are debated, and then these are finally published, and usually there's a phasing out period, not exactly a phasing out period, but usually the law would be implemented or effectively begin somewhere down the line. It would not have immediate effects. It would, the effects of the law canceling the program would only take place maybe in 6 months or 1 year time. The last amendment, or major amendment that took place in with a law that was implemented in January of this year, January 2022, was actually approved or passed during early 2021, which means that it took a year to actually come into full effect. So with regard to your question, Jamie, I would say that anybody that would decide to embark on the Portuguese program right now would be in a safe position and would have enough time to make that expression of interest and finalize all the necessary procedures to get your foot in the door. And once that happens, well, then you're locked in with the program.
There's also another question from the audience who have asked, apart from the 280,000 costs, what are the other costs that we're looking at? Perhaps Rosalia, if you don't mind, just answering, because this has also a little bit, has got to do a little bit about the property side of things. So perhaps you don't mind answering that question?
For sure. So in terms of the investment, there will be a one-time fees that will be paid along the property investment, and this is at the time of signing the notary deeds, and are the taxes that Antonio has mentioned. So the property tax is going to be at 6.5%, and the stamp duty 0.8%. So we need to calculate 7.3% over the property price, which in this case, it would be, if we are looking at an apartment of 280,000, it will be 230,000, because the remaining 50,000 is going to be the refurbishment amount, which is the construction amount, and this is this will have tax, that is the VAT, and the VAT is at 23% for this refurbishment. So the cost that we need to consider is over 230,000 euros, 7.3%, and over 50,000 euros, the 23% of the VAT. We do have, Jamie, as you know, for all projects, Excel that is very informative, where we include all costs that we need to consider, which are first group is the property investment, which is the property price and taxes, transactional taxes. And then the second group is the Golden Visa fees. And if you want a detail on this, maybe probably Antonio can go through what are the fees that they need to, the clients need to consider for the Golden Visa.
Yeah, thank you, Rosalia. I think the other question also they would like to know is also like costs, like furniture and everything. What will we be looking at in terms of furniture? Is it included or not? And how much would it cost?
Okay, so in terms of the property price, the 280,000 euros as of today and until end of the year, with the promotion we have, will include the storage and the parking space for free. And this is a big saving because it's actually 5,000 euros, the standard price of the storage, 15,000 euros for the parking space. So as of today, it will include the property, the storage, and the parking space, and the 280,000 euros. And the property, the apartment is delivered. It's with a full fit out, including the kitchen appliances, and the only optional and additional fee will be the furniture. The furniture is 20,000 euros of the studios in the one bedroom and 24,000 euros in the two bedroom unit. Again, this is optional. However, for those clients that would want us to have the management of the property with a fixed year of 3%, in that case, it will be required, because it is important for us that to have all the 92 apartments, or at least all of those that we are going to manage, looking exactly the same for more efficient marketing, and also to use durable materials, etc. So optional for those ones that want to use or manage it themselves, and required as an additional cost for those ones that want to have the apartment managed by us.
Thank you, Rosalia. I'm mindful of time, and I realize that basically we're 1 hour basically from the webinar. I would like to thank everyone very much again for participating in the webinar, our panels, our panelists, and also most importantly, our attendees. And I also just wanted to close the session by just mentioning that from my personal experience, the Portuguese Golden Visa has been really a door opener for my family. And I really would encourage you to organize for free consultation with us. And we can actually organize depending on different family situations. You may have different processes in how we can structure to make it efficient for you. And this is definitely a process that Global Migration Solutions can actually organize it, of course, together with our team as well. And we will also, I also like to encourage as well for our panel Indonesian clients as well. One of the bigger advantages also for the Portuguese Golden Visa is also it allows you to be able to travel 90 or 180 days. So now that everyone is going on a revenge travel for post-COVID, you don't actually, if with the Golden Visa, you don't actually need to apply for the Schengen visa anymore, and you can start traveling freely and be able to spend 90 or 180 days in any of the European countries. So I will urge you guys to seriously consider and do let us know, do contact us. And we'll be more than happy, because most of some of the questions that you have are quite consultative, like, you know, what are the different age groups of your family, and, you know, who should be the main applicant. This is definitely something very consultative that we will be able to help you. And thank you so much again. And selamat malam. I hope to see you all again in our next upcoming session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jamie.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Audrey. Thank you,
Thank you.
Antonio,
Bye-bye.
Catherine,
Thank you.
Rosalia.
Malam.
Terima kasih Bapak
Bye-bye.
Ibu sekalian. Selamat malam.